Welcome back for another episode of Be in Demand. And do you ever find yourself trapped in perfection, trapped in this need to be perfect, trapped in this, if I'm not perfect, I can't put myself out there. I can't get visible. I can't put my art out there. I can't put my story out there. If you find perfectionism is holding you back, then you're going to love this episode. So let's get on to the show.
You're listening to Be in Demand, the podcast for honest advice, inspiring stories, and ideas for growing your business by leveraging the expert that you are. I'm your host, Laurie-Ann, business mentor, and I'm also a reformed painfully shy girl, red wine lover, and exercise enthusiast. Join me as I share how being positioned as the expert in your industry, even if it's a busy one, will help you stand out and be the one in demand to hire and work with.
Oh, welcome back. It has been quite a week. And this particular topic, really came up because I am preparing a speech and a presentation for a large insurance company. And I literally woke up in the middle of the night and was like, this is a tip. This is a topic, a table topic. And if you're part of In-Demand Signature Speech, you know exactly what I mean when I say a table topic. So I literally woke up and said, oh my goodness, this has to be one of my tables. This has to be one of the points that I am teaching and sharing in this presentation. And it is perfection versus practice. And perfection is actually very boring. I mean, when you think about somebody, when you see them, and it's like, oh my God, they look perfect. They just come across as being so perfect. What happens to other people who are like watching this is like, I could never be like that. I could never be perfect like that. And so we don't even try. So I just want to share with you that perfectionism, let's just like take it off the table, because if anything, it holds us back. Perfection is like one of those heavy weight jackets that you probably see people like running, walking, or hiking in. Sometimes you'll actually see like military people, like because they're practicing, if they can't have their 50-pound backpack on, they've got these jackets that are in replacement of. But perfection is like one of these heavy metal weighted jackets. And I say that very dramatically because it literally does hold you down, hold you back. It takes so much energy and force to keep moving forward with these jackets on. And that's exactly what perfection does to us. It holds us back. So since perfectionism is designed to hold us back, really like when we like uncover this layer, it's like there's fear that's underneath that layer of this desire to be perfect. Because if I'm perfect, this may be what you're thinking, because I see this in my clients. If I'm perfect, people will love me. People will resonate with my content. People will understand. People will sign up for my offers. Like if everything is perfect enough, that's like the golden key to making your business work. And I'm here to tell you that perfectionism is unattainable, because even if you think something is perfect, you'll always be like, yeah, but if I had just done this, if I just said it that way, like it's almost like fine art. There is a point where an artist has to say, this is done. I can't keep adding to the painting, sculpting the sculpture, practicing.
Doors are open. Ready to get positioned as the expert, attract perfect clients, and monetize your authority? Well, speaking is the fastest way to grow your business while building know, like, and trust. Having a speech will attract the perfect clients to you and get you rebooked again and again. So if you're ready to craft a speech that is compelling, captivating, and most importantly, converting, then get on the waitlist for In-Demand Signature Speech, where you'll learn my step-by-step process to build a speech that gets your audience's attention, explains why you're the expert to keep listening to, share immense value while subconsciously addressing the objections your audience is thinking and feeling. so that when you share the next step, it's a no-brainer for them to say yes. Let's get your presentation ready for you to deliver with confidence. Stop wasting time, energy, and money building a business the hard way. For in-demand signature speech at speakandstandout.com/SS.
My craft. At some point, you just have to put yourself out there. So, perfection versus practice. What if you put aside the perfection and said, you know what? This is going to be a practice run. This is absolutely going to be a practice run. This, like I do my podcast now, like on video. So you might be watching this over on YouTube, but each of these is like a practice run. You know, whenever people ask me, what was your best speech? I always say my next one. So what was my best podcast? It's my next one, because I'm able to use all of my past experience. You know, I've done up to this recording over 160 episodes, 3 years worth of podcasting. Guess what? I am so much better at podcasting now than I was 3 years ago when I recorded my very first one. Now, when I'm speaking both in person and virtually, I am so much better than my very first presentation, which was in person. I'm always getting better. But I also look at each of these as, you know what, this is a practice run. This is a practice run. So what would happen if you looked at whatever you were doing today, whether you're writing, you're speaking, you're guesting on a podcast, you're going to do an IG story, an IG live, a Facebook live, you're going to create some video, you're going to create a course, you're putting yourself out there. What if you just looked at it as this is a practice run and see what happens? For me and for my clients, they notice there's a different energy. There's a different energy that you show up to when it's like, hey, this is a practice run. I get to learn from this moment, from this practice run, versus I got to do it perfect. Because if I don't do it perfect, you know, if all my ducks are in a row, then I can't put myself out there. I got to make sure that everything is just to the T. That almost sounds so hard. And having a practice run actually can sound a lot of fun. So practicing is like a dress rehearsal. And my husband and I just went to a play that ran for about 2 weeks. We saw it the night before it was about to end. And it was two very well-known people from Hollywood, a male actor and a female actress. There were 2 scenes, and it was about 70 minutes, I believe is what it totaled. And for 70 minutes, the 2 of them talked back and forth. Now, do you think they showed up on the very first opening night and they had the perfect run? Chances are no. Okay. There was a lot of dress rehearsal beforehand. I bet with each show, each night, it got better and better and better until they were both like in their place, so comfortable with their character, so comfortable with their tones and fluctuations and the jokes and the pausing from audience laughter, that is. But it was a practice. Before it even went live, before they even had their very opening night, they both showed up probably with their scripts, and both of them had read their scripts before they showed up for their dress rehearsal. And then they were probably like, they're reading them back and forth. And then you get to a point where you put down your script and you're practicing, but that script is nearby just in case I need to refer back to it. And then there gets to be a time where it's dress rehearsal, with the lighting crew, and they're just practicing, but they've got it down. And the reason why it was such a great show was because of all the practice. And the same thing is true for your signature speech, your signature story. depending on how long you've been in business, your sales calls. I can speak from my experience that when I first started, in this online business, that I wasn't very good with the sales calls. And when it came time to make the offer, I just felt like I was sort of like all over the place. It was something that I had to practice, whether it was like I practiced live with actual people, or I just started practicing making my offer to people. Why would I do that? So that when I actually do make an offer, it sounds conversational, it sounds natural, and it sounds authentic. But the reason why it sounds like that is because I've practiced over and over and over again. Let's talk about follow-ups. The money is in the follow-up. You can't expect people to always make decisions right away. Some people need time to make decisions. Some people, like, depending on what their human design is, I'm obsessed with human design, by the way. I'm a manifesting generator. They really do need time to process their feelings around the offer. And I've had people get on the call with me saying, I never make a decision on the spot, but I will let you know by this evening, or I'll let you know by tomorrow morning. I need to sleep on this. And they get right back to me as promised. And that's when they'll say, yes, this is a hard yes for me. Or I have some other questions. But let's talk about that follow-up. Follow-up gets easier the more you do it. It's the beauty of going to the gym. And I'm going to use another gym analogy here. You know that I just came from the gym this morning. I actually did some very heavy legs, weights that I haven't done before, weights that my body was like, this is going to hurt tomorrow, because my nervous system is not used to pushing that kind of weight. But guess what? Because I did the reps, because I did all the other reps, this lighter weight reps, lighter weights eventually become easy. Challenging weights eventually become easy. So the weight that I did today is going to become easy the more that I do it. It's a practice rep. I'm doing the reps. There was once upon a time where doing a bicep curl for 15 pounds was heavy. But now that 15 pounds, oh, that's super light. Oh yeah, like I've moved on to, like, I'm doing sets of like 20 now, but that wouldn't have happened if I didn't put the practice reps in. So everything that you do, look at in your business as this is practice. Practice has a different energy to it. It does for me. And I hope it does for you, because most of my clients say there's a different energy with practicing. You're going to practice your stories. You're going to practice your close. I tell my clients there are 2 spots in your speech that you should, I'm going to use the word memorize, but you're going to practice them again and again and again. That is your opening and that is your close. And the reason why I say that these are the 2 places to memorize or to practice again and again and again is because people usually, when you're starting to speak, there's those little bit of butterflies. You're a little bit nervous. You're excited about what you're about to share with the audience. And so by memorizing or knowing exactly what you're going to say in that very beginning, those butterflies actually calm down. And because you've practiced that again and again and again, it's so easy. It's like your nervous system knows exactly what to do. Like when you learned how to drive a car. Your close is the exact same thing. I want you to practice it again and again and again, because you're going to be looking at a clock. You know exactly how long your close is. Maybe it's 7 minutes. You look at the clock, you're like, I got 10 minutes left. And you might finish one tip, and then you're going to go into your offer and into your close. And because you've practiced it so many times, sounds so conversational. It sounds so natural. So when people say to me, like your podcast, it sounds so wonderful. You sound so comfortable up there. Well, I sound comfortable because I've done over 160 of my own episodes. That doesn't even count the number of episodes I've been a guest on, the number of audiences and the number of people that I've been in front of speaking. So practice versus being perfect. And there's one other thing that I want to make sure that you walk away with today, and that is, don't confuse that awkward feeling. Whenever we start something new, whenever we try something new, whenever we're developing a new skill, it can feel awkward. This doesn't feel comfortable. And a lot of times we misinterpret that awkward, uncomfortable feeling with, I shouldn't be doing this. And all that is fear taking over. But what your job is to speak to that fear or that awkwardness and just say, it's only awkward because I haven't done it before. Depending on how long you've been hanging around me. I mean, my first podcast, I was recording in my walk-in closet, speaking to the sweaters. And I remember just like, I came out of the closet after only a couple of minutes of trying to record. And I was like, I can't even do this. I'm a professional speaker. I've mastered Facebook Live, and speaking, and I can't do a podcast. And instantly I had the thought of, no, Laurie-Ann, your podcast recording muscle is weak. That's all. What would help you? So I took a picture of me and a friend. We were on vacation. And I put that picture on the shelf and I spoke to her. That was how I recorded my very first podcast. But even if I go back and listen to that, it's very different than what I'm recording now, because I've recorded so many episodes. I've done so many reps. So don't confuse that awkward feeling with, you shouldn't be doing this. This is not right. This is let's go do something that's more comfortable, because anything new is always going to feel awkward. So I hope that you found this episode helpful. It's all about practice runs and not being perfect. Go for the practice, not for the perfectionism. And you will see yourself, trying new things, getting out of your comfort zone, building new skills, building muscles. When I say muscles, like you're teaching your nervous system new tricks. This is something that a lot of my clients come to work with me for, because they're actually scared, afraid of speaking in public. And I tell them it's only because you haven't done it. And it's only because you got that little judgment that's up in your mind that's holding you back. The one thing that will help you with that fear is knowing what you're going to say. And that's why a lot of my clients come and work with me, because they don't know what to say. They don't know how to craft a memorable presentation. So if speaking has been something that you have been wanting to do, to actually share your story, to share your message, book a call with me. Or down below, you can get on the wait list for the next time I run In-Demand Signature Speech. In-Demand Signature Speech is my signature program where you actually week by week will write the different segments of a presentation, of a compelling, captivating, and most importantly, converting presentation, so that you have your audience raving about you, remembering you, and referring you all day long and beyond. So I hope that you found this helpful. Let me know how I can help you. And let's continue this conversation. Feel free to DM me over on Instagram. It's Laurie-Ann, spelled the long way, .Mirabito. You can find that down in the show notes. And if you send me a comment, it's me that you're going to hear from. It's never a staff member. It's never a bot. You are going to hear from me, because I want this relationship, this connection with my audience. So go for the practice runs this week, put aside that perfection, and let's see what wonderful things you can create. So go be in demand.